So Bethany is what appears to be a place of refuge, a city of refuge. It may be that it was a place for sick people to go to. It may have been for the poor and others who might have been afflicted. And so it is situated 1,800 yards away from the actual walled city of Jerusalem. The reason that is important is because Jerusalem, being the holy city, and a lot of cities at this time would have done the same type of thing. Being that it's a holy city in Jerusalem, where the temple is, around the city, think of it as almost like a dry moat. There would be an area of purity where if you were sick, if you had leprosy or other issues, you could not live within this area about 1,800 yards around the city of Jerusalem. And so Bethany is right where it should be, outside of that area, just outside of that area, maybe 1.5 miles or more from the walls of Jerusalem. So it's also a place where if you were a Galilean like Jesus and many of his disciples here, his apostles, if you were a Galilean and you did not want to come straight down south, coming to Jerusalem for the festivals, for example, or to do business or whatever it might be, you might go to the east side of the Jordan River and come down south on the east side of the Jordan River and end up at Bethany. And that could be a place where you would stop. So they've done a lot of archaeological work there. And they have dug up a number of ossuaries where they have a lot of names of people that were there. And it appears that it's very possible and maybe likely that this was a mostly Galilean community. And so it would have been basically the last stop for someone coming down that non-Samaritan route, so they didn't have to go through Samaria, for a Galilean to come down south on the east of the Jordan. Jerusalem's on the west of the Jordan. And it'd be your last stop before you would come into Jerusalem. And so this would be a normal place for them to be. And we hear more about Bethany here during this week. But Bethany basically means, there's a lot of different interpretations given to this village here, but it seems the most likely meaning of Bethany is basically the house of affliction, or the house of the poor, or the poorhouse. And so this would be a place where you would bring your sick. So a lot of people would bring their sick. It might be from areas out in the desert and the wilderness. It might even be from inside Jerusalem. They need to take them out for purity reasons and take them out to Bethany. And here they would be taken care of. There would be people there that might be dedicated to helping the poor and to helping the afflicted and the sick. And that may very well be what Mary and Martha are doing there. They may be kind of humanitarian people, and they're there to act as kind of a nurse or to healthcare individuals to help people that are there. And this is where Lazarus was as well, their brother. And it's where Christ ends up raising him from the dead. So he was sick. We also learned about Simon the leper, who is in Bethany. The leper is in Bethany, someone who is sick. And so as Christ would maybe come toward Jerusalem, or even be in Jerusalem and then maybe take a break from inside the city, he would go out to Bethany, which would have been a place of refuge, and maybe even a kind of a religious center where they would bring in these types of people. I think of the term, when I think of Bethany, I think of the term, the French term, Les Miserables, right? Les Miserables is the book from Victor Hugo, the musical, and the fabulous musical. And so I think about that term. This is kind of like maybe where Les Miserables would have gone, the miserable people, and to try and find some refuge and some help and healing. And what a natural place for Jesus to go to.